If you had a chance to have your child learn something that's beneficial to their health and well-being, would you give them the opportunity to gain some well-deserved knowledge? My purpose is to persuade you to support sexual education in grades K through 5 in public schools. I have done research to bring you the most accurate and credible information. Your children are your greatest creation. By teaching today's children the very best, we can expect the very best from our next generation of children. I will begin by outlining the problem with current sexual education, then discuss some of what has caused the problem, and conclude with my solution by proposing what would fix the issue. To fully understand the significance of this issue, we need to begin with the problem. Sexual education is not taught at the proper age in public schools. For example, kids in 2016 are going through puberty earlier. In a 2015 publication from U.S. News, it states that there are studies of children starting puberty between the ages of 6 and 10, which means that children are going through the big change young. We need to start teaching age-appropriate sex ed starting in kindergarten. When I was doing my research, I did not get a straight answer as to what sexual education was typically taught throughout the United States. However, I did find that each state has different laws of when and if it will be taught. Most states made reference to junior high and high school. According to the March 2016 publication from the National Conference of Legislatures, 24 states in the District of Columbia require public schools to teach sex ed. That's half of our country. 33 states require education on HIV/AIDS, and 20 states require, if provided, sex and/or HIV education must be medically, factually, and technically accurate. State definitions of medically accurate vary from requiring that the Department of Health review curriculum for accuracy to mandating that curriculum be based on information from medical personnel. Now that we understand the problem, let's look at some of the causes. There are two reasons why sexual education is not taught the proper age in public schools. First, parents and educators feel that starting in kindergarten is much too young for 5 or 6-year-olds to learn about sexuality. It could be harmful to their eagerly learning stigma and pure innocence. Parents wonder, what could that benefit my child from learning about sex in a public school opposed to learning at home in a trusted environment, according to an article written by Tara Culp-Ressler, a graduate of American University. Last, some programs aren't made for children under the age of 12. Programs implemented under the abstinence-only laws passed in 1981 are taught in public schools from grades 7 through 12, according to an article from futureofsexed.org. Since 1996, significant steps have been taken to enhance sexual education, but every state has not completely joined the movement. Most public schools in the South are still only using abstinence-only approach and only teaching in high school and are not teaching at all. As you can see on my graph provided by the futureofsex.org, the states in red are the ones that mandate sex ed. However, the states in gray do not teach sex ed at all. Now that we understand the problem, let's discuss the solution. The solution to teaching children sex education, which is to teach our children at a proper age. Our first solution, mandate one sexual education program throughout the United States. Our kids need to learn right off the bat in kindergarten through 3rd grade what the difference between a good touch and a bad touch is, what the different body parts and what the correct names are for them, what communicable and non-communicable diseases are, what unsafe objects are, along with personal hygiene and emotional development. Continuing on until 12th grade, where safe sex is explained and contraceptives are talked about and offered. On the website prochoiceoregon.org, the state of Oregon's 2015 publication of topic guidelines. Everything I've mentioned has been implemented in that state. providing a realistic approach to age-appropriate sex education for all grades. Our second solution, do away with abstinence-only sexual education for all students. Abstinence-only programs are being taught to students and only taught how to save themselves for marriage between two heterosexual people. They do not receive information about STIs, safe sex practices, and condom usage. In conclusion, starting sex ed in grade school is by far the best choice for our students and children. Let's review why. Sexual education is not taught at the proper age in public schools. First, kids go through puberty earlier. Needed information earlier in schools. Also, half of our country are not teaching sexual education at all to any student. There are two reasons why sexual education is not taught at the proper age in public schools. First, parents and faculty feel that there is not a need to teach young children about sexuality. Secondly, some programs that schools are implementing is not made for children under the 7th grade. The solution to teaching children sex education is to educate our children at the proper age. First, we need to mandate one sex ed program throughout the entire country. Finally, doing away with abstinence-only programs for junior high and high school students for a realistic approach to learning about sexuality. Giving your child the means to lead a happy and healthy life starts with one class. I urge you as parents and educators to stand for your children and support nationwide sexual education. Their life wouldn't be the same without it.